Hi, thanks for tuning in here today. Today we're going to be doing a nice little fun paint. I hope you can follow along with me. Let me have them run the colors across the screen. Now you'll need to paint along with me. While they're doing that, let me tell you what I got up here on my easel. I have my regular 16 by 20 inch canvas, pre-stretched double pine, and I added a thin layer of the liquid white. Rather than that, it's slick, it's wet, and it's ready to go. I thought today we could do a nice, fun, amazing little painting. Something that just makes you feel good inside. So let's go ahead and let's take my brush through a little bit of phthalo blue. So just pull some paint out and tap it in the bristles. That's all you have to do. Just tap a little bit. Now let's come up here to our canvas and let's just block in a nice little sky. If you have to reload, make sure you reload your brush. Don't be scared to use up your paint because it's expensive. I know some of us, including me, at times have not wanted to do something in a painting because you want to save paint because of how expensive it might be, but you have to use it. That's why paint was created, to use to paint. Even though it is expensive, money comes and goes, and we have to trust God with all our things, and we have to put our faith with Him and give away all our worries. Look, just like so. Now, let me go ahead, let me grab a fan brush. I'm going to grab a number 6 fan brush. We're going to go ahead, load it through titanium white paint. Nice and full. Now, let's come up here, and I want a big main cloud. So just pop him in using the corner of the brush. There. And I like to kind of ease in the whole brush, but all up to you. Again, if you have to reload, reload. Sometimes if you don't have enough paint, the look you're trying to achieve will not show, and you're just unsatisfied and you wasted more paint. So just wanted to put that out there. There, lift up. Okay, now let me load up some more paint on my brush, and we're gonna go ahead and do a second round. This time just adding a bit more highlights to spots maybe that kind of dulled a bit, but I want a bit brighter. So maybe right around here. There we are. Just like so. Very, very simple. And go with your brush. Just blend it using the top corner of your brush, going in circles. Lift up and go across. Now, I'm going to go ahead and load up my fan brush and just plopping in a few little floater clouds that just live out there. You see them the whole day just floating by, having fun. Clouds are free. Don't force them to be anything else than what they are. Okay, let's blend that out. There. You can blend it in until it's completely gone. You can have them pop. I like to have them a little more blended than my main cloud. That way my main one still pops out. Let's go ahead and let's use a palette knife. I'm going to be using a number 10 palette knife. And let's create a nice lavender color. So just using phthalo blue and alizarin crimson. just mix it up until you're satisfied with the color you get. I want my lavender to be more to the red side this time. Sometimes I want it to my blue side. This time I want it more to the red, since I'm gonna add brown to it. Okay, let's add Van Dyke brown. Okay, just mixing it up. And we'll add more white. And it kind of just grays it out. Gives us this nice gray color. And we'll use our palette knife today. What the heck. Cut a roll, and you get that little roll of paint on the edge of the knife. Let's come up here. I think highest point should be right here. Okay. Lowest point maybe should be right there. Maybe, shoot. Okay. Has a little peak out here. You just have fun when creating this and work things that make you happy. See, look, if I say, oh, I want to push this out, I'll just cover it up and make it lower out wherever I want to. But I think this will work. But now I feel like, geez, this doesn't really feel tall. I need it right here now. There. Just cutting a roll each time. There we are. We're gonna have these crazy looking mountains or hills or whatever you want to call them. We're gonna make them look nice and crazy today. There. Just scratch off as much paint as you can, as you know how this works. Okay, let me pile up the paint. And let me clean off my knife. There we go. We'll grab our 2-inch brush, align it, and just pull it. I guess this time, me personally, I did not add enough liquid white. This time it was nobody's fault but mine's. There. There we are. Okay. Now, let's go ahead. Let me grab my palette knife once again, and we'll add a little more brown to it, just to kind of make it more of a brownish color rather than just gray. Grab the little roll of paint on the edge of the knife, and let's come up here, and I think maybe right around here lives a little mountain or cliff that just hangs off here. There. I'm gonna add more brown to the whole mixture just so I have the same color and not mixing up over and over. There. And let's have one come down. I want it to kind of like come from here and work its way over here. That way it can lead the viewer's eye. So let's go ahead, let's do that. All I'm gonna do is just add on a bunch of paint. Need a little bit there as well. We'll cover up the rest over here. It's alright. I don't wanna. I feel as if I extend it out all the way, it's not gonna look to the best, in my opinion. And now that I'm looking at it, I should have moved the mountain a bit. It's kind of hard to move it completely, all that, and just shift it. So I'm okay with it, but if I could restart from point A, I'd probably move it a little more. I feel like it's too close to the center, but it's alright. It'll do its purpose. So, same thing. Pull off the paint right here. There we are. There, just basically blocking nice dark colors in there. And shoot, what the heck? Let's get crazy. Let's get crazy. I lost it. We'll say I lost it. We're gonna add some brown, little touch of black, smallest touch, and we'll cut a little roll. We'll just come up here, maybe right here, just right out there. There we are. Just a few little indications. There. Very simple, yet effective little ways to kind of lead the viewer's eyes wherever you want. I'm trying to lead the viewer's eyes into that centerpiece. So I think it's working just fine. There we are. Pull as much paint as you can. I don't know if I want to do brushwork or if I want to do palette knife. I think for this one, palette knife would do good. So we're gonna go ahead and just do that. We're gonna grab some brown and a little bit of white, a little bit of titanium white to our brown, and just cut yourself a roll. So let me show you guys how to do that properly, just in case you guys don't know. I'm cleaning my knife so you can really notice. You pull out your paint flat, and all you do is just pull your knife across. If you want to do it again, you could do it twice, and you'll get yourself a little roll of paint right there. Let me move my palette knife just in case I can't really see well. But you'll get yourself a nice little roll of paint on the edge of your knife right then and there. So let's come up here, and right before I do it, let me indicate where I want all the light to be. So I want it to hit right there, right there. I think the light's coming like that. Okay, let's go ahead. Look. Just let the paint do the job. Cut a roll and just leave it marble. That marble will do works for you. Okay, we'll grab a little bit of brown, shoot a little bit of black in there, some more black, and we'll add white to it. So I'm hoping with the black it kind of grays it down. There we are. For me, when I'm doing shadows, I like them kind of gray rather than like a lavender blue color. That's just preference. You can always change that up. There we are. You can blend it. You can do all sorts of things right here. You're in charge. Shoot. Only thing I'm in charge in here, taking out the trash, helping out, cleaning around the house and all that. But here, shoot, you're in charge of the whole design, whole look. No one can tell you anything, which is so fun. There we are. Look at that. Just a lot of paint, but no pressure. Very, very important. We'll put a little bit indications here of a highlight. There. There we are. You know what? I'm gonna do something that probably many of you wouldn't expect me to do this far out in a video and this far out in the painting. I'm going to scratch the paint off. Damn, that was harsh. Scratch it off and restart and do with brush strokes, because after looking at it, no, it wasn't gonna work. At least not for me, not for what I have envisioned. So just to save you guys time and not for you guys to get mad at me and all that, I'll be using a flat brush, by the way. We're gonna do it in the form of a time lapse. So we've done it with a past video of mine where we're using time lapse to our advantage. We're gonna do the same thing here today. So we're gonna do in the form time lapse, and then we'll see what we can get done. But you know what? Okay, before we do a time lapse and all that, let's go ahead. Phthalo blue and Alizarin crimson, because if we're doing brush strokes, you want to make it look distant. A little bit of that and some white. There. Just kind of plop in the shape. I know I just went against every little thing. First I said, palette knife should be good. I don't like blue and all that, but we're doing all that. So, don't mind me. But that's to show you how it'd probably look with the other way. And also to show you can always change your mind last second. Don't feel obligated. That's the number one thing. Don't feel obligated. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's do what I just said we're gonna do, time lapse, and we'll get this done. So with that, we're able to get the mountains the way I wanted it. With the palette knife, it wouldn't have satisfied the way I wanted it. So I'm happy with that. So before we continue on with the rest, I want to take a quick moment to give a shout out to George and his family. You know who you are. I I'm bad with remembering names and last names, but throughout the time he's been supporting me, and all my best wishes are for him and his family. And I just like to give a shout out and thank you for his thank him for his appreciation. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for your appreciation. I know you guys come through and stick around, watch a little bit when you guys don't really have to do it. So I really appreciate all of you, and I appreciate George and his family. And let's get back into this landscape we got going on. So after looking at it, what I want to do is I got a little bit of that brown color, and I want to add a little bit of yellow, a little bit of blue, so I could get like a subdued green. I just want like a little toned down green, like a muddy green. And all we're gonna do is just simply, let's first just add a couple distant trees just to stop that look of, oh, there's nothing in front of it. I don't really like having the fronts empty, so I always like to kind of cover it up. If you notice on most of my paintings, if it looks empty, then I cover it up with some trees or something. So just doing that little bit of, or just using my straight 1 inch. I don't know why I said little bit. And lift up, go across ever so lightly. Let me add a little more yellow. That's a little too subdued. Just a little. There. There we are. Just pick apart wherever you want the light to really shine. There. There we are. Just lift up and go across. Okay. So now let's go ahead and let's do the exact same thing right around here. But we're gonna need, I did it too tall, first of all. Second of all, we're gonna need some more dark, since it's getting closer in the landscape, not further. And we can go ahead and just knock some color in. Sometimes we just don't have to be scared and add in color, really. Sometimes, even myself, I worry sometimes, oh, what if that doesn't look good? You can't really worry, just test things out and you'll see. Okay, so now I'll grab my palette knife, a little bit of brown, a little bit of black, and we'll just extend it. No one ever knew that it wasn't like that unless they watched the video. There. Okay. We'll grab some of that paint, pull it down, lift up. Now I know that doesn't look like trees, so now I'm gonna have to go back and fix it. There. Just make it more, not looking for detail, but a little more detail than what I had. There we are. Okay, I'm satisfied with that. So what we can do is grab our palette knife and just grab some brown, mix up random colors, just see what you get. That's the best thing you can do. Mix up random things, see what you get. We're gonna do some paint breaks right here. Gorgeous. And a little bit of shadow color where it will drop down right there. There we are. Okay. And we'll add a little bit right here. And back to our highlight color and just try things. I really recommend you try things, even if you haven't seen anyone done it. That's what makes it more fun. Try things out, see if it turned out good, bad. There. Okay, so now I can go ahead, grab a little bit more black and go into my yellow, or that green color we had, I should say. And oh, you guys couldn't see that. And just load up my flat brush and we'll just add in a few little trees that live out there. Okay, and then going back to our highlights, there we are. A little bit more yellow, just a little bit. You don't want to overdo it. And gotta make those sound. Okay, so now what we can do is let's focus on this one for a sec. I'm gonna grab a little bit of black for my green color. And all I'm gonna do is just block in a few little evergreens right here. Okay, little cadmium yellow. Here we are. A few little highlights, just tapping down all. That's all I'm doing. Just tap down. Okay, let's come up here. Cut a row of our brown we had going on. And there we are. We'll add a little bit more white to it. Sometimes you just gotta stop and slow down a little bit. There. Okay, let's go ahead. Let me clear out my palette a bit, since I think we're done for the most part with the mountains and all that. Don't get me wrong, you can improve them, but I think we're good with that. So just taking my 2-inch brush through ivory black and just tap some grass onto there. Shoom. Just let the grass make it look like it's, well, I'm gonna make it look like it's eating up all that land, all that. There. And we'll go into cadmium yellow, load up my brush, and just tap it. Now I have to blend this part out because not too much light would hit there. And I realized that after I'd done it, so it's alright. We can fix it. There. You see that? Pretty easy to fix. You don't have to worry about things like that. There we are. And I'll give the illusion that the light is hitting more over here on my left side more than my right side, because all that harsh lighting. There we are. Okay, let me tap a little bit more over here, and I think that's quite all right. We'll go into a little bit of ivory black using my flat brush, and we'll add in an evergreen tree, just using the corner of my flat brush. There. And it needs a friend. We'll add one right next to it, and we'll just tap him on. There. You know what? We'll add one right over here. Okay. Let's just boop. There. That's simple. You can add in little trees. Very, very simple. Now, you can use your flat brush. You could use a fan brush, whatever you have laying around. Just make sure you have it flat when doing this. There we are. Look at that. And all I'm doing is tapping on a few little highlights. And I'm favoring more my right side because of the way the lighting would hit. There. Okay. Let's go ahead. I was gonna continue with that brush, but gotta use our 2-inch. And all I'm gonna do is just interrupt there. Get some dark color going on here. Just get dark color. That's all I care for. Doesn't matter how you get it on. There. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead, grab some black and a little bit of white. We're gonna make it seem like there's a little rocky path. Add a little bit of brown to give it some color and some life to it. Keep it marbled. Cut a roll. And all I'm gonna do, that's too dark. Cut a roll and yeah, that's better. It's a little rocky road. We'll make these appear darker. Right now I'm just blocking in. Really, that's all I'm doing. Okay, let's add a little more black. And we'll come up here and make these look a little darker. A little less light would hit it. And maybe over here in the base. Okay. And just like that, you can add yourselves a few little grassy areas just popping by here and there. That's all up to you. There. You can break up that nice straight line by just adding in some grass. Load up. I always say the better paintings, or the paintings that were meant for you, will take a little longer. So don't, just because you want to rush things, don't rush them. Maybe it's meant for you to have that. Maybe right here, we'll add in a nice evergreen tree. Look, just using the corner. And I have to learn that the hard way, that if it's meant for you, the painting, and not for anyone, sure, anyone else could paint it, but it's not gonna have the same feel. So if it's meant for you, it will take you longer. But I think it's a sign from God, or whatever you guys believe in. I hope most of you believe in Jesus Christ, but whatever you believe in, I think it's sent for you. And we all have a mission, and I think we have to acknowledge that sometimes. A little bit of green on my flat brush. We'll come up here and just boom, make this tree pop. There. And maybe one over here, just little highlights. There. Okay, let me step back and just see where I want to take this. I feel like another layer somewhere around here, and then bushy tree. So it's probably gonna have to come out more to cover up all this. And then just trying to give myself an idea, little bushes, maybe there lives a tree around here. And yeah, let's get to work. We're gonna go into a little bit of ivory black. Just tap it in our 2-inch brush, and we're gonna speed up this part just to make things go a little more quicker. Three, two. So I'm gonna just show you guys how to highlight real quick, and then we're gonna do straight into time lapse again, since I do realize this is taking way longer than I expected. So just using that corner of the brush and just thinking about every little leaf and all that. There. You see? And you could create little foliage. So let's go ahead, let's make that into a time lapse. That way we're not here the whole day. Just like that, we're able to block in a nice little tree. And if you're so pleased, you can actually add in a little tree trunk. Some people like to slide it. I like to kind of tap it a bit. That way it's noticeable, but it's not crazy. Nothing crazy. And you can always tap some leaves over it if you want to. So let's go ahead, and all I'm going to do is add in some dark color at the base, just to really start to finish up, really. So a little bit of ivory black, and just lock it in. Have all that color in there. All I'm doing is just smearing color, and a little bit of cadmium yellow, and we gotta actually darken the tree a bit, the backside, and we gotta darken over here the grass, but that's all right. We'll fix that in a sec. Okay, just load and fire. There we are. Shoo. Pretty simple. You know what? Just the heck, tap it in. We'll grab a little bit of ivory black and just tap it in. I know at the beginning it might seem scary because you're adding black to what you already worked on, but it just darkens it. Yeah, little bit here and there. There. Just wanted a little more shadows involved. And you can always fix it up if you think you ruined it again. Let's go ahead and shoot. wanted a tree. We'll add in a tree right around here. There we are. And we'll fix the tree trunk in a sec. A little bit of brown, a little bit of white. And we'll go a little bit of brown, a little bit of dark. I just need like a shadow color, so just mixing that up. Boop. And we'll go into some green. Boom. Just a few little subtle indications. Okay. And we said we're gonna have ourselves a bush, and I don't break promises. Let's make up a lavender since I ran out of ivory black. Okay, and we'll go in our 2-inch, tap it, and we'll just that's too blue. We'll use all our crimson in hopes to make it more of a lavender. Let's get a little bit of that gray. It's still blue, but better than it was before, I guess. Okay, we'll grab our 1-inch, one direction, and boop. Okay, just a little bit here and there. A little bit of blue, just to get ourselves a nice green color. You know what? Honestly, the painting looks so good. I probably shouldn't have put bushes. These bushes don't go well with it. You're probably saying, well, you already had committed, might as well finish, but there's no such thing as I don't like it. You can always change things. Damn, and I should have left it the way it was. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm gonna pause the video real quick, add some black onto my palette, and we'll continue with this. Okay, so I got some life back in this palette. We're gonna go with some ivory black, one direction, and honestly, we have to change the way we're thinking about the bushes. So just plop them in. There we are. It needed black for this to work well. That blue wasn't gonna cut it. Okay, we got the main shape. Now let's just finish it up and we'll be right out. Right before we switch to time lapse, let's add a little bit of alizarin crimson to our color just to sort of make an orange and just make it look interesting. So time lapse, and let's just work this out real quick. Okay, well, that pretty much is it. Now, to really sign off and finish this painting off, gotta add in a nice little stick just right here, just a little twig. And while I'm doing this, I like to really thank you guys and just really acknowledge you guys. Thank you for tuning in for my videos, leaving a like, subscribing, and watching through them. I really appreciate them. I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys want to ask questions, comments, or concerns, my email will be down below in the description, and you can use that for if you need to ask a question, why isn't something working, or even as far as you just need someone to talk to. I really hope you appreciate this video. Leave a like, subscribe, and I hope this video helps you guys out with this painting or painting in general or in life. Who knows? I like to wish each and every one of you the best of luck, and I'll see you in the next video. Just again, shout out to George. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.